for joining us again. My name is Marilyn, and I am the author of Healing Through Love.
And my name's Chris, and I'm the author of The Simple Truth About God.
And today we're going to talk about illness, because that is a huge topic that people are interested in from emails that we've been receiving. I do want to start by saying Healing Through Love is a book that teaches you how self-love can help you overcome most illness. And I say that very carefully, most illness, because sometimes we just wait a little too long and the body struggles to come back to its power. But I myself have had cancer. I understand the fear. I understand all the emotions surrounding illness, and I'll be happy to share with you today.
You know, on earth, the body is a vessel, in a sense, a vibratory experience of love. That's all it is. And so how you choose to love, who you are, is felt in every way in that vibration, in your physical being. And so on earth, we pay a lot of attention to our physical bodies, and it is also a way that the heart, the soul, communicates with us about how we're choosing to love.
When we have pain that we bring forward from years and years and years ago, childhood issues, traumas, whatever it is, we hold on to that pain as though it happened yesterday. And by holding on to that pain, we don't leave space to release it, to honor it, to understand why we had that experience, and thereby letting it go. And sadly, what happens energetically is that pain festers. And it does. It really does. And it does take over different parts of who we are, how we live, how we feel, how we experience the world around us. And my recommendation is to begin by recognizing that letting go, it doesn't mean make believe it didn't happen. It simply means honoring the fact that this was an experience that you had 5, 10, 20 years ago, and you learned so much from it. But you don't need to dwell on it. You don't need to be limited by it or kept in a small space. Love it, release it, thank it for having taught you and brought you to this moment of your life, and then you start turning and looking forward rather than backwards. That is a big step towards healing any ailment you have inside of your body.
You know, one of the questions we get all the time, and I want Marilyn to answer for you, is really, what is illness? I mean, what is it?
Illness is a vibration that comes from the lack of self-love. And it sounds very simplistic because it seems that we do love ourselves. But if we were to really rip apart every way we think about who we are, you'd be surprised how little self-esteem you're actually walking around with. I know that that has been my own experience. And it is simply recognizing the power that you are, the magnificence that you are, and the intelligence and the beauty and all of those things, and accepting it as fact, not needing anything more than the acknowledgement of that truth. That's when you begin living in a space where illness cannot find a hold on the physical. So it is the vibration of lack of self-love, and that's why the book is called Healing Through Love, because by learning how to love yourself, you can't harbor illness in your body. Your body will just resonate in its own natural health, and that's what we're seeking.
So then, we get this question all the time, so I'm going to ask Marilyn, what is genetics? I mean, what about the fact that families have shared, illnesses that have gone through generations?
Absolutely. And what genetics brings to the table is the area of the body that would be weakest towards any illness. So in other words, if your mother has had breast cancer, that would be a weak place in your body. But if you love yourself, it doesn't manifest, because self-love will actually be a natural resistor to that. But if you struggle with anything in your life and you allow yourself to focus on that pain and it festers for years and years, the genetics will bring it to that part of the body. My father had colon cancer. That's where my illness was. I had colon cancer as well. But I was festering in unhappiness for years, And that's where it just took hold. That was the genetic link. But the truth is, had I been in my power, had I been aware of my own magnificence, which I've subsequently accepted, it couldn't have held on, and maybe I would have never had the cancer.
You know, one of the challenging aspects of talking about the power of self-love as a creative force and also for the healing even of the physical body is that when people hear this sometimes they will begin to judge themselves. So if you might have had an illness or you know someone who does and you share this with them, they feel like they've done something wrong and they're not doing it right, and that's why they have an illness. And the truth is remember that as God, everything is a choice to learn that you are God. And what that means, the word God, is to learn that you are perfect and magnificent as you are. The key here is not to use it as a tool to beat yourself up again, but rather to use it as a tool to release any pain you're holding about yourself that in a sense is creating a clog or a dam in that vibration that you are that may manifest in the physical. It may or may not. I mean, it manifests everywhere in our life. I mean, a trauma or a car accident is the same thing, you know, as something in the body, a broken arm or, you know, an illness in your liver or something. It's just a manifestation of choices of how you are choosing to love and your heart trying to communicate with you. So don't judge yourself. Actually embrace that your heart, your soul is talking to you about how you're loving. It's using the body because on earth we pay attention to the body, and it just wants to say to you, is that how you want to love yourself? So in other words, the body parts are also very important to look at if you're ill in your liver. The liver is about rage.
Right.
So if you have a liver issue, you can just take a moment and say to yourself, okay, heart, I hear you. I need to look at how I have chosen to embrace in some way anger or rage or hold it inside me in this lifetime in order to heal. And when you are embracing it, you are beginning a process of loving it, of hugging it and saying, thank you for communicating with me through my body.
Now, as Chris said, this is not about self-incrimination, but it is about self-responsibility. We are responsible for every experience we have, good and bad, even though I hate to label it good and bad. We are responsible for the joys and the pains of our lives. Very hard to accept, and we will continue talking about that in another segment. But today I want to tell you, I want to share a quote that's in my book that says, if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. So what that means is that when you have a pattern in your life that brings you to a point of pain that is the same day after day until you make the choice to change the pattern, that pain will always be there. So whether it's how you eat that brings you pain, or how if you don't drink enough water, we're talking about the physical body now, or you don't get enough exercise, or whatever it is that you're in a rut, if you don't change it, your body will continue along that path. But if you change it, you will change the experience that you have in the world. This is physical, this is spiritual, this is emotional, this is psychological, this is everything, everywhere across the board of just being the you that you are.
So today as we finish, we just leave you with the exercise actually of taking a moment and looking at what kinds of physical, you can call them illnesses, they may not be a full-blown kind of illness,
Absolutely.
but where in your body you tend to manifest illness. Do you get sick? Do you get sinus infections? Do you get sore throats? You know, what happens for you? Because you can begin to say to your heart, okay, soul, I understand that I am constantly getting a sore throat,
Right.
which then has to do with not communicating. I mean, look at the part of the body it is. It's very
Right.
simple. And look at generally what it functions, and you can pretty quickly figure out what your body is trying to talk to you about. And begin to take a look at those and then thank your body for communicating with you And then, as Marilyn said, begin to make changes. And as you change behaviors, maybe you're not talking to your spouse, maybe you're not communicating to your employer or your children or whoever, your body will realize, okay, she's choosing or he's choosing a new way to love themselves, and they no longer need to use the throat to tell them that they're choosing to hold back.
So do contact us. I'll be happy to answer questions and help you heal that specific part of your body at center@expandedliving.net, and continue to share with your friends that we are on YouTube at Expanded Living.
Thank you very much.
It was good to see you again.